Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Wednesday, the 29th of November, 2017. Hope you're having a good trading week. Here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. It was up today a decent amount, even though the NASDAQ didn't do as much. Goldman Sachs pretty much carried the market higher, and the Dow was up quite a bit. Even though we dipped we were flat early. It was really boring. Then the S&P got stronger when the NASDAQ didn't. Then there was a missile launch out of North Korea. The market dipped. You'll see that in a minute. And then we kind of came back. It's a big day up. I mean, it's one of the biggest, strongest days, actually, if you look at it on the broad market, even though the NASDAQ didn't participate. It's an interesting time of year because we're at the point where nobody wants to sell the stocks that are up for the year and lock in the tax gains. So you don't have sellers and you end up with buyers. And so you get some of these waves. And it may be that we just run into the end of the year and then look out below come January. But we'll see what happens. Let's go through the major indices on the daily charts. Crude oil up $1.40 to 56.55. Gold down $4. Still kind of flat for the last couple of months. S&P cash. So we've violated the 13 sell signal risk line, which means if we take out the highs of today tomorrow, that is gone. Interesting. NASDAQ 100 up 16, which is really a blip. It's not even a new high on the NASDAQ. SOX down 1 after the 13 sell signal 3 days ago. Biotech's up 8. There's a 13 buy signal on the biotechs because it's been down for the last 2 months. And that just happened today. The VIX was up 16 cents to 10.03. The trailing gets a super low reading at 0.61. Let's see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the 10-day moving average is at 1.09 and not going to change anytime soon. NASDAQ volume was actually 1.9 billion shares at the close. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ was plus 522. On the New York plus 1107. Google drops $8.72. This is what's interesting. So the S&P is up a bunch, which is not normal, and Goldman Sachs was the reason. I'll show you that in a minute. But Google down 8.72, Apple down 1, Amazon down 2.23. That's not a big deal for Amazon, but you did have the 13 sell signal yesterday. Netflix was up 4, and that's been down. That's not even at closing highs. And Tesla up 74 cents. So the big ones were mostly down, but the market was up. Interesting. TLT 17 cents to the positive. Goldman Sachs, here's the big one, up 4.3. Now this one's been, remember, we had the 13 sell signal, and this one's been straight down for a month since then. So a big bounce day here, and that helps the Dow out quite a bit. Let's look at the intraday action. Now this is a tale of two different tales here. This is the broad market, gapped up, totally flat for 45 minutes, very slow drift up, and then we come into lunch, and suddenly it launches higher. Then North Korea launches the missile, come back down, and then climb back up. Meanwhile, if you look at the NASDAQ side, nothing going on all day. Then North Korea launches the missile. We dip down. We actually broke the lows of the prior day, recovered that, and there's not much there. Very strange day overall on the markets. All right, so in terms of economic data coming out on Wednesday, we've got OPEC meetings. We've got the preliminary GDP. That's the second look at GDP for the third quarter at 8:30 a.m. We've got Yellen speaking. We've got pending home sales at 10, crude oil inventories at 10:30, and Beige Book at 2 in the afternoon. I mean, the range is expanded out, even though it was a very strange way it played out today. So that should help us for finding some better action tomorrow, and I think the holiday is behind us, which is great. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple of weeks. Have a great trading Wednesday.